Hello everyone, my name is Sumit and I welcome all of you to BASP Self-Learning Video Broadcast Solution. Today I am going to tell you about Azure Queue Storage. So first of all, let's understand what is queue storage and why we are going to use it and what's the advantage of using a queue storage and how it works. So the goal is basically we need a scalable and durable storage, and for that we have three kinds of storage available within Windows Azure. We have blob, we have tables, and we have queues. To know more about blob and table, you can go through my existing videos on blob storage and on table storage. This video will mainly concentrate on queues. So basically queues are serially access message or request allowing web roles and worker roles to interact. So whenever a new message or will be added in a queue, the web role and worker roles, they will interact with that queue and that pull the messages from that queue one by one. And once the message has been delivered to the web role or worker role, that message will delete from the queue. Let me tell you more about queues. Basically, it's a list of messages which flows from the bottom of the queue to the top of the queue in the order they were added to the queue. So basically, they follow the FIFO order. So the message which added is first in the queue, that message will move out first or will be accessed by the worker role firstly. Azure queues are queues located in Microsoft Cloud, which you can use for exchanging messages between components either in the cloud or on premises. Windows Azure Queue Storage is a service for storing large number of messages. This can be accessed from anywhere in the world via authenticated call using HTTP or HTTPS. It means the messages which are added in the queue storage, they can be accessed from anywhere in the world via proper authorization. A single queue message can be up to a 64 KB in size. A queue can contain millions of messages up to 100 terabytes total capacity limit of a storage account. So the limit of a storage account is 100 terabyte, and a single queue message can be up to 64 KB in size. And the common uses of queue, what are the common uses of queue? Basically, we can creating a backlog of work to process asynchronously and passing messages from Azure web role to a worker role. So whenever a web role or worker role they would like to communicate with each other, they can use a queue to send the message or to transfer the message from web role to worker role. So these are the queue limitations and constraint, that the queue service supports an unlimited number of messages, but individual message in the queue service cannot be more than 8 KB in size. The FIFO behavior of the message sent to the queue service isn't guaranteed, means the message which we are sending into the queue, it says that it follows the FIFO behavior, but still it is not guaranteed that the message will send to the queue will be in the stored in the message in the queue will be in FIFO order. Message can be received in any order. Message sent to the queue service can be either in text or binary format, but received messages are always in the base 64 encoded format. So these are the limitations. And there is one more limitation. This is the last one and very important, that the expiration time for a message stored in the queue service is 7 days. After 7 days, the message are garbage collected, means the message will be deleted or will be removed from the queues automatically. So I have tried to explain about queue by using this example with the help of this image. You see that we have an account, AdventureWorks account, and this AdventureWorks account is required an order processing. So there is a queue named as an order processing, and in this queue we have multiple messages. So we can have more than one messages in a queue. So like this, we are going to create a program in Azure in our .NET. So I'm going to create a queue. I'm going to create a program in .NET, and by using that program, I'm going to create a queue in an storage account in an Azure network, and we'll be going to send messages or store messages into that queue. So let's see how to perform this. So first of all, for this I need to open Visual Studio.NET. So I'm going to open Visual Studio.NET for desktop, and when I open it, I'm going to create a new project that will be a console application, and I click on OK. Now because my requirement is that I have to store the data into a queue, so we need to add a references first. So how to add a reference here is right click on this application, manage NuGet package, and here I write Microsoft Azure. I look for Azure storage. Azure Storage. You see Windows Azure Storage. So it's a client library for working with Microsoft Azure Storage servicing, including blob files, queues, and tables. So I click on install and it will be installed within this application. So after installation, you can see a reference will be added automatically with this storage account, with this queue. And by the time it is downloading and installing, you can see it has been installing here. So by the time I'll move to Windows Azure, and on Windows Azure you can see there is a storage account. So I'm going to create I have already created a storage, BISP storage. Now how to create a storage on Windows Azure? For that you can visit my existing videos, how to create a storage account on a Windows Azure. And even if you want to know it again, simply click on new and data service storage queue and enter the URL, and this will create a new storage account on our Azure network. So I already have got one storage account, BSP storage account. So okay, now you can see the Windows Azure storage has successfully added, and if you click on reference you can find out here Windows Azure storage. So first of all, to work on this program, I'm going to add the library. So I write here using Microsoft dot Windows Azure dot storage, using Microsoft dot Windows Azure dot storage dot authorization. This is for authentication. Authorization, basically user ID and password. This is for authorization. And because we are going to work on a queue, I'm going to add a library for queue as well. Microsoft dot Windows Azure dot storage dot queue. Next, in this main class, in this main function, basically I'm going to write a code for this. So what will be the code? So first of all, I'm going to create two variables here. String, first is account name, string. We need a key as well because we need to connect to this storage account. So to connect with this storage account or to access this storage account in .NET or in Visual Studio.NET, you need to select this storage, and when you click on this manage access key, so by using this manage access storage account name and this access key, it can be easily accessed on our by using our application. So I create here string account key. So I need to enter here account key and account name. So account name is, I click on here again manage access key, and my account name is BISP storage. So I copy this and paste it here, account name, and we need account key as well. So to account key, I select this. You can use either primary access or secondary access, both are okay. If you want to regenerate the key, for example, you have already shared this key with one of the user and now you would like to make it secure again, so simply click on regenerate. So the existing key will be removed and the new key will be generated, and then the user will not be able to access the data without your permission. So this is simply to secure your data. So that's the key. And here I create one more variable, that is string message. Then I create a try block, try and catch, to handle the exception EX. And this will write, and in this exception, first of all, I write a statement console dot write line EX dot message. EX dot. Now in this try block, first of all, I write here storage credentials. So storage credentials, because we need to connect with our storage account, Azure storage account. So storage credentials, and in this I'll pass the account name and account key. I pass the account name and account key. Then cloud storage account, and account is equal to new cloud storage account, credentials, comma, use HTTPS, so it will follow the HTTPS protocol, colon, true. So I set this to true. So it will then cloud queue client, because we are going to work as a client. So queue client is equal to account dot create cloud queue client, and then I'm going to create cloud queue is equal to queue client dot get queue reference and the name of the queue. So I give the name BISP queue. That will be the name of our queue, or the name which the queue which we want to create it. Then I write queue dot create if not exists. So it will create the queue. If the queue does not exist, it will create a new queue in our Azure storage account. Then I write here while true. So it will read the messages from the user until and unless it will not set this to true. So I write here console dot write line, enter a message. Then I write message is equal to console dot read line, and this message we are going to store into this queue or the storage account. So I write here cloud queue message, create an instance of this message is equal to new cloud queue message, and I pass this message over here, and then queue dot add message message. So I add this into this queue, and after that I need to get the confirmation from the user whether the user wants to store more record. So console dot write line, new message, yes, no, and then message is equal to console dot read line, and then I check that if the message equal n, if it is equal n, it will break the loop. That's all. So let's test this. So test this, we need to execute this program. Now if I execute this program, what will happen? It will create a new queue into this storage account, and then it will display a message to the user to enter a new message. Then it will read the message and store the message into this queue. Then again it will display a message to the user whether user wants to add a new message into the queue or not. If user say yes, again this loop will execute, this loop will run again, and again it will request for a new message from the user, and if it is set to no, it will move out from this loop. So the queue will be created in that storage account, but here you can see when I click on this storage account, there is no option for checking the records. So to check the records, we need to set up, first of all we need to download and install Azure Management Studio, and with this Azure, by using this Azure Management Studio, by the help of this Azure Management Studio, we can manage our queues or tables or blob storage account. So I have already downloaded and installed it, and it's a trial version, it's a 30 days trial version subscription with Azure Management Studio. So I have already installed it, and you can see right now there are no queues. So if I refresh this, there are no queues. Now when I execute this program, a new queue will be generated, a new queue will be added into this storage account, and in that queue there will be the messages which we have stored. So let's test this. So to test this, I'm going to execute this program. So I simply press Ctrl F5, the program will run, and I'll get a message. Anyway, no issues. If you get this kind of message, you can run again, simply run again. So you can see here it's run successfully, and I got a message, enter a message. I simply enter hi. Then I got a mess again, I got a message and new message. So I press N, and then it moved out from the loop, and it says that press any key to continue. And when I press any key, the program is closed. And now in Azure Storage, Azure Management Studio, I refresh this queue. So you can see a queue has been created, and if I double click on this queue and click on peak message, you can see that's the message which we created just now. The expiration time, so insertion time is 23rd 2015 and expiration time is 30th June 2015. As I told you, the message will store in that queue for 7 days, and after 7 days this message will be deleted automatically. Again, if you execute this program, again it will ask for a message. So I write welcome to PSP. New message, yes. And this time I press no. So in totality, now we should have 3 messages. So when I refresh this, you can see we have got 3 messages, and the most recent message will stored at the end of the queue. So this is in the FIFO order. So this is how we can create a queue and store the messages into queue in our Azure storage account. So that's all in this video. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, you can visit our website www.bispsolutions.com, or you can subscribe our YouTube channel for videos on Azure. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.